Yep, we're live. So, yep, what up, it's your boy B, and welcome to another episode of Contrast Podcast with my co-host, the ambassador representing Chakra TV. I know we are being hosted on Chakra TV, so I think he'll be the moderator of today. All right, the ambassador. So, what's up, man? During AFCON, you got a call light to during AFCON. God damn. Yeah. Mm. So, so you just came this evening. Damn. So it was seven. Mm. So it means when the match was being played, you guys never had light. Mm. Damn. Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay. So yeah, but at least let's just say at least we move through it.
Yep,
Yeah, and we move
let's
some.
do what you do.
Yeah, we have some few topics. Can you? Okay, I don't know if you can see the live over there. I believe
Yeah,
we Okay, you can see the live video over there, right?
yeah,
Okay, so because I can't see it here since you sent the stream key, unless I have to stream it live, unless I have to view it
yeah.
through another device. Okay, so that if the comments are coming in, you can read it. So today we'll be
Yeah.
dissecting. From the topic we'll be talking about today is it goes way back to. Yeah, can I just give the rundown or the backstory to where we got here or what is happening?
Yep. Go ahead. Shoot
Okay,
for it.
yeah. So if you guys can recall, Stanley Enow before releasing that his song mm, Nyongo, or
Nyongo. Yeah.
before releasing Nyongo, Stanley Enow made a
Why are you
post.
calling like a white man?
Nyongo, no, in Bamenda it's Minyongo. Southwest guys call it
Ah,
Nyongo.
okay.
Yeah,
Ah.
Northwesterners call it Munyongo. I'm a Northwesterner, so so yeah. So the difference there is just the M, Munyongo and Nyongo. No, it sounds different
Nyongo.
when you add the M. It's different when you add the M. Anyway, so before releasing Nyongo, because that's the title of the song, before releasing Nyongo, he did a post. He first of all shared a post by a blog from Mali that said he's the best Cameroon rapper. So, from our own
Yeah.
speculation, the reason why he was called the best Cameroon rapper is because before releasing songs, most artists send songs to media houses. Like even the guys before they release on Trace, they have to send it to Trace before the actual release date. That's why sometimes you have
Yeah.
premieres and all this thing. Yeah. So I believe he sent that song to Mali, and the Malian blog that he sent the song to, they listen to it, and I believe most those guys are not that exposed to Cameroon rap. So maybe when it comes to hip hop or anything hip hop, the only thing they know or they think of is Stanley Enow. So they made a post on their blog
Yeah.
saying Stanley Enow is the best Cameroon rapper, and they posted it. Stanley Enow shared it and said, yeah. And then he made a post. He first of all shared it, and then the eve before the release of the song, he made a long post saying, uh, je suis le meilleur rappeur Cameroun, mais je suis pas le seul. Il y a aussi les autres qui font, il sait appreciate, j'apprécie Jovi et les autres artistes pour ce qu'ils font au Mali, for what they are doing in Mali as best rappers. We have so many guys like Malox, Teno, and all those things. So when he made that post, then he come up with all the Baba Jovi replied it, and then Malox also replied it. But during that post, he said every day he would make a post of one Cameroon rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, every day he will make it. So he has made that of Boytak, he has made it for Mings, and he did it for Teno. I think that was yesterday. He did Teno's one yesterday. He hasn't done it
Yeah.
for Malox yet, but the first person he did it for the day he did all that was Jovi. Which Jovi replied, that man they promote his song. So the song is out, and he in the post, because to be very honest, what I think is, though he has to be aware of it before any of these things happen. His PR is doing all these things. Like his publicist is doing all these things. You know, I just believe it's his publicist making all this posts, but he has to be aware of it before those things go live on his page. But that's a smart move, and I appreciate it. And those guys are keeping to their word, because to be honest, I don't think Stanley has time to do all this research, come up with those guys' names, their real names, when they were born, the first songs they release, and the track record of all those things. He needs to have a PR team, a research team, and all those teams. Those guys that will come up with that information, type that thing and post all the time. Or maybe he may have written all those things and just schedule them and say, this date this one go live, this date this one go live, this date, you know. So that's where we're at right now. Today he did that of Boytag and Minx, right? I think it was 3 guys. He did Boytag, Minx, and who? Those are the 2, right?
I saw Boytag.
Let me see.
Minx.
Boytag
and Kosi.
Minx and Kosi. Yeah, he did that of those 3 guys. Okay, so after giving all the backstory and what is currently happening, if you guys are watching us, like the video, subscribe to Chakra TV, and are you guys aware of what happened? Did you read everything, and what do you guys think about it? So the ambassador, I'm throwing the ball back to you. What do you think about this whole thing happening right now?
Well, so personally from my end, knowing all the drama behind, especially the Jovi Stanley relationship, I think even with some of these other artists, but especially Jovi and Stanley, I respect the move. I think Stanley has tried. I mean, even if it's PR he's trying to do, you will not tell me that some of his fans or people out of Cameroon who did not know some of these artists would begin to know them. So they still stand to gain, even if he's just trying to draw attention to his song. I don't think he needed to. Some of these artists are not even that big, which you think that okay, he's really using them for a PR stunt.
Like Boytag, because the only artist on that list here is Boytag.
Yeah. So even if he's doing that, but they are still gaining. So I don't see what the problem is, because they're also getting some visibility from his platform. 3, as a general statement, I feel like when I saw some of the comments which some of the so-called leaders of the industry were making, criticizing him as wanting to get or promoting his song, I just felt like Cameroon is in that situation where the car is driving the driver.
Explain.
So by the car driving the driver, normally celebrities and industry people should be leading the fans. But apparently it's the fans who are leading the celebrities and the industry people. So they are thinking like fans, and based on what fans are saying and whose side is popular, they are not really thinking strategic and the industry and things like that. They are thinking like fans. And then based on what fans are saying, they're making certain comments which I feel like have no grounds. Generally that's just the feeling I got from some of the comments I saw. Instead of people trying to encourage peace, or at least encourage, I mean, even if there's no peace, let's not have war. Let's just be neutral, rather than instigating things. And I feel like Stanley has tried a couple of times. He has tried to make some of those gestures, which I think it's in a good sense. Even if he might have different intentions behind, I feel like it can always be taken for a good sense, and just making that gesture, it's something on its own. When people misconstrue it and then they make a whole negative turn to it, I feel like, one, we are just doing too much. 2, people should be thinking strategic instead of all of these things. 3, if you recall, there was something which I showed you. I was talking to a blogger and I asked him to send me the post. I wanted to send it to you. I recall in another discussion I was having where I was saying, our artists are not professional and are not willing to work with professionals. There's a certain level to this game where you really need to work with professionals.
Yeah.
I told you that I'm not sure because I don't have any proof, but
Yeah.
I'm very certain that our artists did not try to contact Fika Food, Etofis, or the organizers to get a certain level of exposure in this thing. And then
Yeah.
this blogger was telling me that somebody from Fika Food or somebody in the organizing committee put out a post saying that why are artists complaining? They asked them to apply and to put their songs on a certain platform or to send to a certain address, and nobody did. I think like about 3, and the 3 people that did were not even A-list kind of artists. So I asked him to send me the post, but he has not yet sent it. Secondly, remember what I was telling you, that they feel like the world revolves around Facebook. You saw the thing I sent where Ambe was writing a letter to Etofis.
Yeah, that one was on Twitter, not Facebook.
Okay, Twitter, but I think a blog shared it on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I was saying that that's according to them. I don't know if he's doing it, but to please, that's another incident where I'm saying that it's like they are doing, instead for fans to be doing things for them, they are doing things for the fan. They are following the bandwagon. Yeah. I don't know if he's doing it just to please the fans that look at what I have to say, or he's actually hoping that Etofis sees and then react on it. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like we really need to work with professionals. We really need to know what counts. We really need to set benchmarks and targets as this year we have to hit this. I feel like for a while, and even some of the moves or some of the things I'm seeing from some of these A-list artists, I just feel like it's desperate moves because money is beginning to slow down. Their fame and their kind of buzz is dying down. They don't know what next to do. So they're trying various random things both ways. I feel like it's strategy. They have to go back to the drawing board. And of course, the things which you did when you were in class 1, which worked, you cannot expect to do that in class 5. So the strategy which you use for beef, insulting this one, calling this one name to get buzz in Cameroon level, don't think that would suffice for you to go in the African level and the global level. Or you have people like Fali, who is moving with a team of almost 10 people doing various things for him. You want to go your one-man show and then hope that just by creating polemic, as we say in French, you are going to get enough buzz to propel you into Africa and into the global world. That will not do it. But I see people start making real strategy, having real teams. Another thing that pisses me off is the short-term relationship of things. So just in a matter of how many years, I don't know if it's 2 years, Mr. Joe has left Alpha Beta and Peter Lion Production. In that same period of 2 years, Gomez is signed, has left the label. That same period of 2 years, these guys, what's his name? Fon Emmanuel and the other guy, I forgot how they call their
his
PR
PR
house.
and his management team,
they have left him. So it's obvious that even if they had a good idea in mind, I don't know, just for benefit of doubt, in 2 years with all the shaking up and down, nothing can be built. And that's the same thing for most of our labels, most of our artists. It's just that circle of starting to build something, scattering it, and then those who are at the top feeling that they have already made it, and they are changing teams and bringing in new people, and So I just feel like coming back to this, I feel like it's a good effort, but still, it's not going to do the trick for the industry. We need to put in professional work. So it's a good intention to try to push artists out there to get our artists known. But our intention is by doing this, it's a good effort. Because people have that tendency of, you say all these good things, but as soon as I want to start saying out the negative things that we should work on, they can't hear because it's negative. That's why I keep on saying that it's a good effort. But there is much more to be done than just sharing these people. Some of these artists, I always said the same thing for Joga, and even Stanley, they need to take in their money, create some solid labels, but don't be management of it. Don't be in the management, or just be in the technical side, but not the business side, and then leave or employ people to really run things. I feel like some of them who have been exposed to a certain level of capital in the entertainment thing stand a better place to invest more and then take it to the next level. But till then, it's a step in the right direction, but it does not suffice.
Okay. From everything you've said, yeah, that Stanley is trying. Yeah, from anybody looking at it, okay, even if it is PR or what, or even if he's gaining, not like even if he's gaining, he's actually gaining from it, but it's a step in the right direction because anybody else would have done it and also profited from it
Yep.
or made the same gain. But they are giving something while receiving something, right? They are sharing the limelight they have, they are sharing the fan base, the fans they have, and
Yeah,
all
with
these
the other
things,
artists.
exposing to the other guys. Though, on the other hand, they still benefit from those guys, somebody like a Mings or a Kosi who is still current. Like these guys are current guys, he can benefit from
Yeah.
the new fans because the old Cameroon audience, like the ones of the Epe, are not like the ones of the Calision, you know.
Yeah.
So they are new fans, so they exchange fans, so that's how it grows. The next thing, yeah, so I can see that he's trying. The next thing too is what, to me, what Jovi has implemented as his strategy. Okay, it can be working for him. Maybe he has a goal, he has a plan, he has something he's benefiting from, he has a way which is working for him that he doesn't want to let go. He may be comfortable with it, but he don't. That's why he's acting the way he's acting. Because I had like this one, I just wanted to record it as a video, but I'll just say it here. If you guys recall, like Jovi said, he has had 4 comebacks, right? When Jovi had all his 4 comebacks, if you guys can recall, the only place he was verified at was Twitter, and he had 20k followers on Twitter at that point when he had all those comebacks. On Facebook, he had 50k followers, okay? Everybody else, Renice had more followers than him, Stanley had more followers than him, everybody had it. So when he stopped releasing music and focused and started beefing more and having all these things, his followers started going up. I believe this, keeping this animosity, keeping the same energy, and keep reigniting this beef, keep bringing his name up on social media, which is that's where he wants to accumulate followers. I believe Jovi, what he's doing now is just keeping the same energy because maybe the strategy he wants to use is working for him.
Can I ask you a question?
That's self-centered. Yeah, ask.
Yeah. So we've had this conversation before, but just to
Yeah.
add more to what I've always been saying.
Mm.
Looking at the recent rant Jovi had in the interview or the thing he was doing with Jules Nya,
Yeah.
and then later on the discussion he was having with Ni, I think in Ni's house. I watched something on Facebook like that. Do you think his strategy is working for him? But why I'm asking this question is because if somebody is always bitter and always complaining that Stanley has blocked him in this thing, why did they mention his cachet? He's not where he's supposed to be. The fans are not doing this. The industry is this. Is it a French this, that? Si c'est plein toujours, how can we be saying that maybe it's working for him? Definitely that's not where he wants to be. He felt like he should be in a bigger place, a better place.
Of course.
Yes, so definitely the strategy is not working. And I'm saying that
understand this.
all those things he's complaining about,
Yeah.
it's not by doing what he's doing that he'll solve those things.
Okay, I understand. I get that point. Okay, the next thing is everything you've said is completely true and valid. He may be bitter. He may feel like he deserved more. He was supposed to be somewhere else, not where he is right now. Okay, but what if you thought you deserve? Let me just say 5. Like every time you write an exam, right? Or every time you do certain work, you may think that your wage is supposed to be, let me just say, out of 10, your wage is supposed to be always 8 or 9. But there's somebody who you think is always giving a bad remark about you or trying to prevent you from having 8 or 9. Then complaining about that person constantly gives you 5, and accumulate the 5. Okay, for him, he may be comfortable like, I'm not losing everything. Okay, I'm not losing everything, but I'm gaining something. You understand? He may be trying that, I'm not losing everything, but I'm gaining something. That's why he keeps making all those. That's why he keeps doing that. Because right now, Jovi's Facebook following is, Jovi has no comeback and has had 250k followings added to his following he had before. So what I'm saying is maybe he's using this. Okay, maybe he's using this to accumulate a following, to build his fan base. And though we all know he's bitter because everybody, even his fans, said they think Jovi is not still supposed to be a Cameroon level artist, or Jovi is not just supposed to be a Cameroon level act. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah. So I believe that frustration and the beefing, he's gaining something from constantly reigniting this beef, which is growing his online or keeping his relevance. That's just the truth. He's keeping his relevance while being bitter that he cannot get financially or strategically or I don't know, boss wife to certain positions where he thought he's supposed to be at. So to me, he's actually making gain from constantly reigniting all these controversies or this friction, but why exposing the unsatisfaction he's having within himself and within his brand or within his business or within everything he's doing. He's not completely losing.
So but that's what I'm saying,
he's not completely
that
profiting. You understand?
If he has that dissatisfaction, one, I feel that his music was enough to keep him relevant.
Yeah.
If he was doing that regularly,
yeah,
he might not need all this beef. Two, I feel like the things he's complaining about is not by doing these rants that he's going to move to that next level. Instead, I feel like they're working counter to his shine. And just to buttress the point, if Jovi had solidified himself African level, when he took shots at him or at Alice Sarkozy, they would have replied to him. But because they felt like he's not yet at that level, and they replying to him is just going to do him a favor, they didn't.
Oh, okay. So what if all those things?
So that's why I said that beef thing might be working with him, and he's staying relevant in the market where he has nothing to prove. But it's not going to work for him into Africa and into the world.
Okay. There's a saying that if you cannot if we cannot we will always exist. If we cannot exist together, we exist apart, but in the same sphere. What if he has decided that, you know what, since I cannot move forward, but I can stay relevant and I can exist, this what can keep me relevant, I'll just keep doing it. That's still him profiting. That's still him actually surviving. That's why I'm asking
that question.
He's surviving.
So that's why I was asking that question. That if he had made peace with that fact, will he still be ranting and complaining about it every opportunity he has?
The truth is, for me, what I'm seeing now is the truth is he's afraid of making peace with that fact or even squashing the altercation he has with Stanley, because if he does that, what next?
Yes, but
what will he use?
We are talking like Jovi is some old artist or he's somebody where we doubt his talent or anything like that.
This thing is real, okay?
Why are we saying that he does not know what to do?
No, understand this. We human beings, we have insecurities, right? You viewing it from outside, that's what you think. You may think like, why do we think like Jovi doesn't know what to do? But he may be thinking that, okay, there is something I can do, or something I have to do, or something I want to do. But what if it fails when this is already working? What if I aim for 8 and I fail when I'm constantly getting 5? This is real. So some of these fears are real.
Wait, so making risky moves into Africa will not take anything away from Jovi in Cameroon?
He's afraid he will. If he stops making all these things, stop exerting his authority in Cameroon.
That's why I'm saying that
he's afraid that if he stops exerting his authority,
he might be afraid. I cannot speak for him, but I'm just saying now.
No, we are all just speaking hypothetically here. We are all just speculating. Yeah, even here.
So I'm saying that Jovi is not one of those kind of Franco guys who has done just 1 or 2 songs that we can easily forget him.
Of course.
Jovi has something for me.
Of course, but the fear of becoming one of those kind of guys. Listen, but the fear of becoming those kind of guys, of becoming, okay, we are hip hop fans. Me and you be hip hop fans. You understand the term washed up or old head, right?
Yeah.
He's afraid to be called or to belong to one of those kind of groups. He's afraid to fall in that category. Because once you get into that category, it's difficult to leave it. It's difficult to move out of old head or fall off.
So one, I feel like the kind of hit Jovi has, Jovi just needs to do, let's say, 10, how can I even call it? Jovi just needs to be doing tours in Cameroon. He'll always be relevant.
Yeah.
Let me just read some comments. IK Jig said, "Sup guys." Daniel Amudio said, Stanley. IK Jig's official said, "I think Jovi's deep down is quite an emotional guy. Rough around the edges, but quite emotional. And as such, I don't think his actions are strategic as we think." Very true. That's what I keep on saying. I think they are very spontaneous and emotionally driven. As a rapper, I kind of relate to the fact that he knows he's doper, but not necessarily acknowledged as such. I am not legitimizing his actions, but I'm just trying to explain. Very true, most of what you've said.
He also what he said plays on both of the points we have both given. You understand? So
yeah,
it plays on that thing which you said. Maybe on the point where, like I just said, the guy may be like he's emotional. Okay, he knew he's supposed to be somewhere else, but he's not there right now. But there's something like constantly having this outburst or reigniting all these controversies gives him relevance. Being emotional and seeing how advantageous that is for him. He knows that maybe, or he's afraid that maybe if I make peace with all these guys, what would I lean on? That may put him in the legend or old head space. They'll just say, okay, be like a role model to these guys. And he still wants to be relevant.
And that's where most of the time I say I don't blame Jovi. My problem is just the people around him. I usually call this your guy where you say he's the manager, and I'm like, yeah. He's the manager, quite all right. But I feel like he needs a bigger team maybe, or a better team, because that's what management is all about. People need to sit with the numbers and then tell Jay-Z that this is the direction we think you should go, because this is the roadmap. First, we are going to collaborate with this guy, and this guy. Then we are going to try to maybe feature in this, I don't know what, this podcast on this thing. And then we are going to try to be on this event. And then hopefully we feel like we'll be relevant now in this market. And then we can try to do a show there by ourselves. Or maybe do a show, feature in somebody's show, and then now organize our own show, and we have made all of this effort. So that's why I feel like, yeah, it's human. Maybe he has his doubts, but that's where a solid team comes to play, when you have people who know what they're talking about, and they tell you, like, these are the numbers, this is the roadmap to take us from A to F, and these are the steps we have to take. And doing those things in no way takes away from what he's already doing. So I don't feel like in doing those things, he can still continue doing his runs to stay relevant in Cameroon, but I feel like Jovi has nothing to prove in Cameroon. Just his older songs, Jovi can do shows for the next 10 years and he'll be relevant. But I feel like our generation, and maybe a generation 5 years behind and 5 years in front of me, will always relate to Jovi's first 3, I don't know if it's albums or EPs. So he can do shows and then start doing his thing and put out even one single every year, just to say I still got it. But focus on trying to hit Africa.
Yeah, we are all just speculating here. We don't, but one thing I know for sure, and one thing I keep saying is, during this rant period, Jovi has gained almost 250k followers. And I believe just those numbers, I think those things, for somebody who work with building a brand, and like artists who work with building brands and all these things, some people may see that as a slight win or a slight strategy that is working, and they won't want to let go. They may be afraid that if they let go, okay, they're letting go of the only strategy that they have that is actually working. What next? They'll have to re-strategize. So they fear.
IKGX added that ambassador talking about that beef issue. I think there's a problem. Jovi doesn't beef. He just teases, and I think it's a big problem. Because when beef is your strategy, you got to be careful if you go halfway. They don't take you as a threat. They instead take you as a ranting expert. When he called out MI actually responded, but the stuff he released wasn't what was expected. So even when beef is, yeah, I agree with most of what you said. Anyway, I cannot speak but I feel like Jovi can really beef if he wants to, but I cannot speak on it because he has not really gone on, like those kind of how do they call it, 48-hour this back and forth. Yeah. I don't think he has gone on any such exchange. So I cannot
he has
really
gone on it with Lyrical Joe, and I was really angry that he did it.
No, Jovi did not go on it with Lyrical Joe, though.
Of course, come on.
In
mentality
passing,
was aimed at Lyrical
in
Joe.
mentality, in passing,
he did 2 songs.
In mentality, in passing, he threw some jabs where he said, "You say you are lyrical, but whatever." He took about 4 lines.
No,
it was
he
not.
Did 2
if
songs.
you listen to the King, what's his name, King B and the Mex Cortez thing, or Calligraph Jones, and no, Calligraph Jones did not reply to Carl De Niro, but Carl De Niro's songs hitting Sarkozy or hitting Calligraph Jones were fully charged at Sarkozy. King B's songs at Mex Cortez were fully charged at Mex Cortez. It was not any sentence. It was like, you are fat, you need to go to the gym, your career is whack. If I catch you, I'm going to break your leg. It was all shooting at you. And Lyrical Joe's song, where he turned at Cameroon, it was not any mixture of trying to still be a hit song and then doing partially beefing or throwing jabs. He went at Cameroon full swing. I felt the punch. I'm not a rapper, but I felt it on my chest, like, chai. So he was
disrespected.
But Jovi has never taken any full swing at any song. That's what IKG said, and I agree with that.
In rappers, there are so many rappers who have so many styles. That's the same way Drake beefs, right? Drake doesn't go full swing. The only person he has gone full swing with has been
Drake is no beef rapper.
Yeah, but Drake beefs like that. He just does that same thing. If you listen to the bar and it fits, it fits.
That's why I said Drake is no fully beef rapper.
But he takes jabs. So I believe that's what Jovi did. He took jabs. He did 2 songs. Mentality was the second one. I've forgotten the title of the first one, but he took 2 jabs at Lyrical Joe, and I was annoyed that he was even acknowledging him in songs.
One, Lyrical Joe is not his age mate, is not his height mate in the industry. 2,
that's what I'm saying. And the reason I got angry was because Lyrical Joe had some notoriety in Cameroon because of that.
Yeah. And if beef is your main thing, you have got to do beef properly. You have got to go all the way. This guy can do a concert in Sierra Leone
if you think about it,
he's ranting.
Beefing means you guys put it in a song, or you fight in the streets, or you take it out of them. That's beef. But Jovi is just, that's why I say friction, altercation, or disagreement. That's why I use all those terms. That's why I don't use beef. Because it's not a beef. It was a beef. Every song he released would have been like, fuck you, Stanley, fuck you, Malox, fuck you. No.
That's what I'm saying. So if you go to the point that AKG is racing, and which is the point I agree with, which is, if beef is your strategy, you've got to take it seriously. If it's not your strategy,
what if the ranting and reigniting all this friction is a strategy, though?
Ranting is no strategy in hip hop. It has never solidified anybody as a hip hop artist.
Music these days doesn't simply mean hip hop.
Ranting is what bloggers and those influencers do. That's not what rappers do.
What if that is working for his relevance? That's what I'm talking about. His relevance, his growth, his social media growth. Because to be very honest, right, there was one time when he released Done for Quad, he went away. We could only hear him when he released Man Pass Man, he went away. We heard him again when he released Kankwe EP and the Pascal song, he went away. He came back with Bastard, he went away. He came back with Cash. That's how we knew Jovi. He will go away, come back with songs. Go away, come back with songs. But now, he doesn't come with songs, he just come with rants or tweets or mentions. What if that's the new strategy for him to maintain the relevance? Because at first the relevance come with the music, the hits, and the work. But what if now this reigniting this altercation or talking about all these things is the new way to keep the relevance?
That's where our suppositions contrast, because I feel like, one, Jovi does not need to be relevant in Cameroon, so he does not need all of those rantings in Cameroon to be
What
relevant.
if he thinks he needs it?
Jovi
And
needs to
we are
go
all
into
humans, though.
Africa
We
and
are
to
all
go
humans.
into
And know
the
this:
world.
when you're in the
Two, I
entertainment
don't think
field,
that ranting will take him there.
no, we are in the entertainment field, right? Relevance and brand building and
Yeah.
brand awareness. Those are things. Impressions and awareness. Those are things that work with showbiz, entertainment business. So what if he thinks that is the way to keep the relevance? Because mind you, there are some brands that give you endorsement based on your social media following. So many brands. I'm a really shitty ass person too when it comes to brand advertising, because I even have a deal with Start Engine. Every video I record, I'm supposed to say this video was sponsored by Start Engine, but I don't do it because I'm not used to. I always forget that I have a sponsor. When the video has gone up live, I record that I have a deal with Start Engine, that I have to say this thing was produced by Start Engine. Put this / Libby or Molly, blah blah. But some of these things, they actually give you endorsements based on your following and your influence, your engagement. So what if that is what he's thinking of? That's what he's doing? Because musically right now,
So, but that's why I'm saying that
we can agree or
if he was
disagree on
working
this
for
one.
him, we would have seen the endorsement deals he has had. Endorsement deals don't hide. We have seen Stanley have the BSEC deal, the MTN deal, his various deals. So if that was his strategy and was working for him, we would have seen it. He has been around long enough where if that was a successful strategy, we would have seen his following skyrocket and then the endorsements follow. We have not seen endorsements like that, and I don't think that that's Jovi's strategy.
We've seen
because
them.
as IKG is saying, it feels like Jovi is emotional and is not strategic about most of the things he does.
We've seen them. Okay, when he used to use music as his way of relevance and his comeback and proving his art and his maintain his authority in the industry, right? When he used to use that, it comes with videos. And at that point in time, he had endorsement with French Kind, right? It was just like a partnership. His friend who had a brand and all that. So when that's let me land.
If you know how those things go, if you know industry things in Cameroon, French Kind was no real endorsement deal like that.
That's what I'm saying. That it was like a friend, he had a cut in it, or maybe some sales thing, he has a cut in it, or all those kind of things. Understand? So the next one I want to say is, when he stopped releasing music to gain that relevance, when he started beefing and all these things, he had an endorsement with Dolong. Until he was posting it, drinking it the same way Loco has an endorsement with I think it's Hennessy now. Loco has an endorsement with Hennessy. Mike Monster has one with something. Magasco has one with another wine and some earpods. So he had
those are those groundnut endorsements that like MTN would decide to sponsor all the teams in Elite One in Cameroon. That's basically, I don't know if I should call it child abuse or it's artist abuse. But there is no way when an MTN is sponsoring all the teams in Cameroon, you expect them to be fully engaged. So these people out, they are funny 500, 1 million to 2 million, and then you go around say you have an endorsement deal. Those massive endorsement deals don't really count for much.
Listen, like I said, it goes back to the first point I said, what if he thought, or somebody who think for the amount of work he has put in, he deserved to have endorsement deals worth, let me just say 100 million or above, but the personal efforts he's doing, which has nothing to do with music, are giving him these endorsement deals of 2 million, 4 million, 5 million constantly. So do you want to cut off your bread and chase the bigger bread, or for the sake of the fear of the unknown, you chose to hold on to the small bread you keep having constantly? I just think sometimes most of these guys are all human and they have fears. We all have fears. We are all humans. We have certain doubts, insecurities, and all these things, right? We shouldn't negate the fact that some of these guys may have these things.
But that's why I said it's normal for him to do that. So he has to sit in the boardroom with business minds and strategies who say this is the plan. This is how we are going to move. We are not going to risk it all. We are going to risk it maybe by 50%, 60%. These are our key performance indicators to evaluate if we are growing or not. All of those kind of things, that's how people move.
Yeah.
So if he
So
does that, he's right place now to start uh, not go all the way, but at least, because there's no growth without risking it. At the
I
time
know.
when he was doing Done for Quad, did he know that Done for Quad is going to blow up? I don't think so.
You know, there's something that comes with hunger, and when you're still unknown, you have a certain amount of degree of hunger, like belief and all those things. Those things are different, right? The more you advance, the more you grow. Things change. Your strategy has to change. Your marketing has to change. Your branding, the bigger brand goes, you need to change so many things. So I don't think that him at that point in time when he was creating Dofukwa, when he was still free, he had nothing to bother about, like the influence of, let's just say, the fans or the outsider, things which they think he should do or shouldn't do. All these things, they were not influencing him. So he had that hunger, you know, that rage, that pride to do what he wanted to do, and it blew up. So right now, I think he has the people he has captured from doing that to please, and some other guys or some people again, you know.
So that's why I use the analogy of class 1 and class 5. You cannot use the same strategy or the same formula you used in class 1 to pass in class 5. That's why I said he needs a bigger team. He needs to get professionals on board, because he's going now into the big boys league competition in Africa. See the way the guys is going to compete with the Saks and the MSIs. See how they move. Even if God has blessed you so much talent, at least you need to make a 50% effort for your talent to compensate the rest. But you are not just going to sit there and then still be operating like you are that free falling or gambling artist or new guy on the scene for Done for Quap. It's another level. You need to be professional about it. That's why I kept on saying that he needs to go with strategy. He needs people on his team. He might have these fears, but he needs people on his team who can strategize and then make massive moves. I'm saying the same thing even for Stanley, but Stanley is trying. But it's just that Stanley has some other shortcomings which, it might not be easy to overcome. One, I feel like he needs to get other people on board. I feel like he's keeping the circle too close and he's not leaving other brains to come on board. Two, one person cannot think alone. So the more people you get, and it should be professionals. I've never seen Stanley or these guys. The only guy I've seen put out a call at one time was Ken Stephen, who said he was looking for somebody, video director kind of person to assist, or somebody who can hold it up.
Ken does that all the time. He's looking for
you don't see these labels putting out job offers or calls for people to apply. We're looking for this marketing person. We're looking for a PR like this. We are looking for this. People send their CVs. You shortlist them. You put interviews. We just still want to function in the Cartier and want to grow out of the Cartier. You cannot be behaving Cartier style and you want to grow out of the Cartier.
Okay.
No matter how many millions they give you, you still exist or stay with the top of the Cartier or the best of the Cartier because you are still thinking Cartier.
Okay. Based on everything you said, okay, I just want us to understand this. That's what we think they deserve and they're supposed to be and they're supposed to do and they're supposed to implement, right? That's what we all believe for somebody like a Jovi has had so many hits, or somebody like a Stanley who is where he's at. He's supposed to do all these things and do all these moves to get to all these places. But we are only talking from outsiders' point of view. That's what we are talking about. And we don't know what they're doing. We don't know what they want. We don't know if where they are at in their career, that's where they think they are comfortable. Most of us are saying, man, I don't think Jovi deserves to be where he's at. But we are all talking as outsiders, as fans, as guys who don't know what is actually happening in the record label. Most of these guys, like what Mr. Leo did, after having the interview with Karawa, I just said, I suggested this thing when we had an interview where he said he changed his sound and he's comfortable trying to build his niche market and what he's doing is working. Most guys feel like he fell off and all these things. So what if what Jovi is actually doing now, okay, he knows what he's doing and he's actually contented and satisfied with the results he's getting from what he's doing. We are all talking from outside as outsiders, and we are all speculating.
That's why I came back with the argument.
We are talking about where we want them to be and what we want them to achieve. We don't know what they are doing and how they feel about where they are and what they are getting.
It's not from outside that we saw him complaining. He said it himself. No, he was complaining. So if somebody is complaining I don't need to ask again that is he happy or is not happy. If you are complaining, it means you are not happy. If you are
No,
complaining, it means there's something you want which you are not getting.
No, it's almost like I complained before, like, okay, I had a problem with Stanley because he complained about one of my channels the last time, or he was part of me losing the first channel I had and all these things. I complained. It happened. I moved past it, and what I had back then, I've tripled, quadrupled it, but it doesn't change the fact that it happened, and I was bitter about it. And I still felt a type of way about it. But things I'm doing now and where I'm at right now,
when I'm talking about Jovi complaining, I'm not talking about he's complaining about what Stanley did to him.
No, he says Stanley has been blocking.
I'm not talking.
Stanley has been
I'm
blocking.
I'm not talking about that one. I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about his complaints like the Cameroonian industry is like this. They are not valorizing the artists. This one the Bashi, the Technovian Cameroon. That's not a matter of him and Stanley. That's a matter of him feeling like he's not getting his position, or they are not giving him the respect in the industry, African level, like the technos. And that goes to say that if you want to be African level, you have to work and function African standards. So that's what I'm talking about. He's complaining about those other things. Put aside the one ranting about Stanley. I don't feel like the Stanley thing is a major, it can be a solution, but it's not a major stumbling block to why Jovi as a person and his career cannot move strong into Africa.
That's what I'm saying. We are all talking from outsiders, like outsiders. We don't know. Before you get into certain gates, into certain places, there are certain people you need to shake hands with, do certain political things. What? We are just talking as outsiders. Again, that's why I keep reiterating this point. We are talking as outsiders. We think he deserves to be there. We think he needs to work like this. He needs to do all these things to get to this place. He needs to do all these things to get to this point, right? For him to complain, okay? What if maybe he has gotten to that point where he could cross or get into the next stage? Something like that happened, and he decided to let go of it because maybe there was something he was benefiting, and he told himself that is not worth it.
David decided to let go.
He's complaining about what is currently happening.
You have decided to let go.
Yeah, he's complaining about what is currently happening because he can't do anything about it. But the things he can control and the things he can do things about, he's currently handling and controlling them. And he may not be giving ranting is a byproduct of actually doing what he's doing. He may be having results which he desired and he wants, but the result and the desired results may not be visually what we the outsiders are expecting to see.
Okay, maybe because like my network is really not the best. As I told you, we have all these light challenges and the rest out here. Yeah. Maybe I just read through the comments and then we could give closing remarks. Okay, so IK Jigs went ahead to say Drake does it for the song quality, not to rip your head off. And that's something you do when you know your opponent might be better than you. Example, Drake versus Pusha T. So Jovi, stop teasing beefs. Because in as much as it creates buzz, it equally creates a very big letdown. Many rappers in Cameroon were let down by the Lyrical Joe saga simply because he teased it and didn't do it. Jovi still has the level where only mentioning him can give an artist a career. He doesn't need it, and I'm sure 60 to 70% of what he does isn't strategic, but rather emotional. That thing ends strategy. Just my opinion, though. All the way, I agree with you with most of what you said, though.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe let's jump into closing remarks and then.
Yeah. So, we wanted to just address like what Stanley did, sharing his light and sharing the light with the other artists or keeping his word. Like we said, we don't know if that's his PR, but he's supposed to be aware that those things are going on his page, so he has to go sign them or he has to sign up on them for them to take place. So even if he's benefiting from it, at least he's keeping his word and he's sharing his fan base or giving exposure to some Africa or Cameroon rappers, exposure on his page. That was what he did. So that was what kicked off the whole conversation and spiraled right up to us Jovi turning down his because when I did a video I said olive branch to Jovi. Like olive branch means somebody's trying to squash an altercation. When they say somebody's extending an olive branch. So, but Jovi said that man they promote nice song. That could be true, and to be honest, I think it's true. But though he's benefiting from the exposure and the clout that whole action is bringing, but at least he took the effort and the step to move forward to actually do it. It's controversial. It feels like he's building buzz for his song, but he took the initiative to do it, like openly acknowledge somebody.
Yeah,
even though it was a bait, even though he was throwing out a bait, but he openly did it. Malox accepted it. Malox took the olive branch, though I don't think Malox just took the olive branch too. Maybe if that's a game of chess that Jovi is playing, Malox took it and it went away. Okay, just think about it. The only person that whole thing is lingering between Stanley and is still Jovi, but Malox was mentioned. But because Malox just co-signed it and moved away from it, it died. You understand? So there's no way you can say Malox fans or Malox guys will be Stanley will be bleeding or leeching from Malox fans, because Malox already gave his own 2 P's that he gave in it and moved away from it. So his fans also moved away from it. But because Jovi turned it down, it keeps reigniting the fact that Jovi is bitter with Stanley, and it keeps making Jovi is hating, Jovi is doing this. It keeps building it on. Though on one end, maybe that's what Jovi wants to, like I said, maintain his relevance. We all don't know. I'm just saying that because we are talking from outsider's point of view. Maintain his relevance. So that was what spiraled up to this whole conversation up to now. So thank you guys for tuning in. The ambassador, if you have any closing remarks, you can give them. Then we can call it a day. Or maybe he froze. Okay, so thank you guys for because the ambassador has frozen. Yeah, I don't think he'll be coming back anytime soon. So thank you everybody who tuned in. I can't see the live chat, so I can't call your names, but I know IK Jigs was one of the guys who took part. So thank you for your contribution, and yeah, see you guys on Monday on Mulitown. So like this video, okay, if you like the conversation, because this conversation, like Karawa said, these two guys is almost getting tired of talking about the two of them, but they are inevitable. But we have to talk about them because one person keeps both of them make sure this thing doesn't die completely. So that's just it. So thank you guys for watching. It's your boy Delui, yeah.